Hi everybody. I just decided to do another review today of the sweatshirt today. Colder in New York. I finally give in. I didn't want the summer to end, but like today I had to get a little sweatshirt. So taking a little bit of a break of my day just to do this review of this ukulele from Irin. That I got AliExpress. So basically, very cheap. I think I paid AliExpress. If you're not familiar, they always give you some kind of coupons. So if I'm not, I paid I think $29 and change with the tax included for this ukulele. So if you are planning on getting anything on AliExpress, always check for the coupons. I mean, if you have the app, they always pop up for you. And yeah, just keep an eye on them, and because they're worth it in this sense. So anyway, this is a very interesting ukulele. I think I got intrigued by the F holes. Didn't have any ukulele in this model, in this shape, and also has the sound port on top. I once had a ukulele from Riptide, which is a very nice brand. I don't know if anybody's familiar with those ukuleles. I bought one locally out of the Facebook marketplace, but unfortunately the ukulele need a little bit of setup, and that was right in the beginning that I started playing ukulele. I didn't know what to do, so I ended up selling it. And I remember missing a little this experience, because since you play so close to your body, to have that the resonance, to have that sound, the feeling of the sound in your face, it's just a different experience. I'm not saying that makes such a big difference. It adds so much to the sound, but it does give you something a little bit different. So I think it's something about when I got guitars. I have a small collection, and it's I think what would I would go for, it's a little bit of variety of sounds, or of variety of experience playing it. So anyway, I think it's up for discussion. There's not much, there's no official, if we can put it like that, information about this ukulele. They're listed as walnut top. And it's some I think some descriptions actually mention mahogany. I heard some people saying that mahogany are the soprano size, the concert and tenor, which is this one. They with the laminate of walnut. So anyway, that's what I got it for. They have the strap buttons, and basically that's all that come in the package. The frets are a bit sharp, so it would be nice to do some kind of work on them. And the tuners look very cheap. I feel like sometimes it's a little bit hard to tune the instrument. It's getting better now, since the tuning is being kind of getting stable, getting there. So when I play, if it's a little bit out of tune, please forgive me for that. But yeah, the tuners, I don't think they're that great. But my what I was really disappointed is with the name of the brand. I don't know if you guys can see very well, but you see how it's peeling. Sorry. I thought that was so embarrassing for the company to put something like that. It's something that's definitely gonna be peeling off, or maybe I'm gonna have to take it off, because I don't understand how can they represent themselves like that in such a sloppy way, to just throw a sticker. It'll be much better something screen printed, or there's other ways. Definitely this one, I thought it was pretty ridiculous. So basically that's what you get. Oh, this other thing too, it has the round back, but I don't know if you guys can see, it doesn't seem to be quite centered. which I thought that was weird. If you just lay on the table, it's not stable at all. So definitely very sloppy craftsmanship. I don't know if you can see here this finishing. It's, yeah, that's definitely very sloppy. And I mean, a brand that puts stickers, I think it's kind of something to not very hard to imagine that something like this would happen. My biggest problem, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show very well, was this. It's the wood is lifted from the binding, so that's what I can get through a little my experience with AliExpress is that I try to contact the seller because I'm afraid that something that is going to start like that potentially can crack or can start lifting the rest of the wood along these lines here. And I mean, I don't think it's unacceptable for a new instrument. Even I can deal with the finishes like that with sharp frets. On the nuts, the height of the strings a little bit high. It does seem to be okay around here. I don't have much of a problem to play on the upper register. So if you would have for, I mean, a little bit less than $30, if I would have to shave the saddle or if I would have tried to fix something around the nut, I can deal with that, but not this. I think this was unacceptable. So I contacted the seller and he just basically was not helpful at all and said, well, that's it. I don't think that deserves any partial refund or anything like that. Didn't offer me anything. So I contacted AliExpress. I opened a dispute and actually was really fast. I opened last night and overnight I already got an answer from AliExpress that they stepped in and granted me the partial refund. I didn't ask for much, but I understand that's a very poor constructed instrument, but it's still, I don't think that this is acceptable. So that's, just wanted to respond a little about like, is that worth buying from AliExpress? Well, at least from this experience, I was happy that they stepped in and it was very fast. But that's I guess what you get with a $30 instrument. Just showing here, sorry, got out of the camera. That's that box that came with. And I understand it's not the seller's fault that the post office, they don't really take care of it. So it basically just came in this box with a plastic wrapping around it. So, but it's a little frustrating too, because if you do read the reviews on AliExpress, there's many people that complain about how poor shipped, like the materials, how really poorly they don't spend any extra with the padding, which you see in other brands like Anya and things like that. So it's frustrating. It's a long trip coming all the way from China. Other aspect also that you should consider if you want to order from AliExpress is the time. They give you a tracking number, but the tracking is very spotty. It actually got here to the United States, I think within 2 weeks, which I thought was really good, but then it sat for another 2 weeks at the customs facility. I don't know for what reason it happened. They don't give you absolutely no explanation whatsoever. So there is something to consider than time, but knowing that this kinds of situation can happen, I imagine in other countries might be even worse, to send simply in a box like that. that's very poor quality, very flimsy box, and the ukulele was simply wrapped on just in one of those packaging bags, a very thin material that usually ukuleles and guitars that I have experience, they always seem to be packaged like that, with a very slim layer putting across the body, this part of the body, and that's all there was. So I think it's not very responsible of the sellers to do this. I guess they're trying to cut costs to the maximum, and they would rather I don't know, play this game Alari, I guess, to see if they cut the costs and selling something very cheap like that. Hey, might get there, no problem, and I'm gonna make more money. I guess that's how they operate in their minds, I guess. So anyway, so it's just some things to consider, but it did at least I was no, overall I was happy that AliExpress stepped in and it helped me with this situation. So anyway, going back to the ukulele, it's that's, I mean, that's what you get, you know. It's there's some, like, a lot of flaws in construction. If you look inside, you can see some sloppiness, some not finished. But anyway, that's the experience I had with the buying this ukulele. By the way, the seller had, I thought that was very interesting because the seller had 100% on his feedback. So so it's just something to keep in mind if you're gonna order from them. But I guess in a general way, I'm happier now that at least I got a partial refund for it, and I'm gonna get to keep the instrument because I do enjoy the sound. So if you have any questions, if you think about order from AliExpress, just shoot me a message, and I can, yeah, if there's anything that I forgot to tell you, just let me know.